believe that was all the pictures I had. All right, so maybe this can expedite your problem. You can apply this to all active shutter grills. It's going to be slightly different depending on the manufacturer and the size, the style. I haven't seen a video, this comprehensive on active shutter grills yet. I think there's one that's similar to mine on YouTube, but I think mine is pretty detailed. With actual, pictures of the fix. All right. I would encourage you to, just still search and get more of an understanding on the general operation of the shutter grill. I'll go over a little bit of it. When the event closes, it allows the engine to warm up more quickly, and it controls the engine temperature, or the radiator temperature, the radiator temperature. All right. Now you could say, is this a superfluous system? I want to say yes, it is like an add-on, like a luxury. I don't think it's necessary for a car to have this, but I may be wrong. All right, 'cause not every car has an active shutter. Cars are running just fine, without active shutters before, but apparently cars are starting to have these now. All right, let's see if any more information here, and I'll go through the pictures one last time. All right, so pretty much what you're doing is you're trying to see whether the grill, if there's a problem in the switch, whether is there a problem in the active grill, or is there a problem in the actuator? All right, so you have to do a visual inspection first to see. You can visibly look at, without a scan tool, warm the engine up, drive it around, and you just have to watch it. That's a slow way, and watch it close. All right, cold temperatures, it will open, so it won't be frozen shut. Water, snow, these can all, even certain vibrations can send a code, can make the engine light come on, or if not the engine light, just a warning, and that's like a pending code, but the engine light won't set where the driver can see it. All right, so you want to see where the problem is, so you have to do the visual inspection. If you can't visibly see it open and close according to the temperature and conditions of the car, like the speed, acceleration, deceleration, you have to command it on or open. That's what I did. I did both, actually. While I was taking was waiting to see, because I didn't have the D7 with the bi-directional control. I was visibly looking at it, and I saw it. I didn't see it close, but I saw it open. Then when I walked back to the car, I saw it close. So I know it's working at that point, but I don't know how well it's working. Is it closing and opening when the computer is telling it to? I don't know that, but I confirmed that with the D7 X tool. I commanded it open, and I commanded open, and it closed by itself right after I commanded it. All right. So you narrow down which part of the system is malfunctioning, and you can use that engine light code as a starting point, which was slipping on the D7 and stuck on or stuck open with the cheap $30 scan tool. All right. Remember, different scan tools, or cheap versus professional scan tool, will give you different codes. All right. You narrow down what system. No, let's go down to those pictures on this website. So let me bring that back up. Those 3 wires right there. Sense 1, sense 2, and ground. I believe that's right. These right here. All right. no cold, no, there was no open on circuit A, B, or C, or open on ground, or short on ground from switch, from actuator switch, or grill switch. Those codes didn't set. It sounds like a plausible code to set. All right, so nothing wrong with the electrical on the switch. And then you have one, two, three, four, five, six. All right. These switches, it appears as though that they meet up. I didn't really look at the ends of the wiring harnesses to see if they meet up, but it does make sense again. All right, we got, is that green? Well, yeah, yellow, green, and black. Let's try to do that again. Yellow, green, and black. Yellow, green, and black. And we do have yellow, green, and not yellow, orange, green, and black. Orange, green, and black. So it makes sense that they join up. They join up in that wiring harness. I didn't get that picture or video, but it makes sense. All right, so when you look in this wiring diagram, and that's another thing you have to be careful with. When you're looking at these wiring diagrams, the wiring diagram that you're looking at, they could be in two separate locations. All right. Or the other end, it could be in a different location. That's not farther in the wiring harness. All right. So, hope you understand what I'm saying. You see the three wires here, they're the same color. I'm really confident that these wires meet up. But you see how it's one, it looks like it's one assembly. All right. So you basically just diagnose both ends. You would check both ends for visible damage. All right. If you're seeing that clear, that's a switch. And this is the harness going into the actuator. Let's try and get another one for you. Right there. All right. So it says active, so grill shutter ECU swing, grill actuator assembly, radiator shutter sub-assembly. Doesn't have the color or wires on here. But grill shutter ECU swing grill actuator. So you'll see it as a swing grill actuator also when you look it up. And the way this is modeled, it makes you think that the switch and the actuator are one assembly. That's what I'm getting at. And they're not. They're two different pieces. Now, I'm almost certain if you buy the actuator, all right, actuator assembly, that you're not going to get this switch. All right, just if you look at it, if you think differently from the way this looks, just write in the comment section. It looks like it's one assembly. All right, and you can clearly see there are two different. Let me show you both. All right, that's the. Well, let me get a better picture of that. I have it while it's on. There we go. Yeah, the switch is behind it. As you can see, this is a switch. When you put the you put the actuator in front of this. All right, then eventually down the wiring harness, they meet back up. All right. So you got to be careful. All right. And or they're just colored similar to show you they're part of the same system. All right. Now I'm sure there's another wiring diagram that makes it a little bit more clear, but this is all I have right now currently. All right. So I think you get the picture. I'll show all the pictures one last time in the video, in the two videos. Let's see. I think there's more pictures here. All right. Yep. See, this doesn't show the switch. Yeah, it doesn't show the switch because the switch, let's bring that back up. Yeah, that's the switch. Unless I'm looking at it wrong. Yeah, the switch and the actuator are not one assembly. The only thing the switch look like it does is just go in two different directions at a certain speed. And the switch is screwed to the grill. See anything else? Yeah, so you just pretty much cap that, and it's telling you to check the ohms and the resistance. If you check it in there, you're checking everything behind it. You're not actually checking the actuator. So that's like if it's a wiring problem or a pin problem or a computer problem, you're checking back. But your diagnostic process, you guys got to just use the information that you have currently and perform your tests. The easiest thing for you to do is to check the actual components for normal operation. All right, mine, it was a switch. The problem was in the switch. Nothing physically was wrong with the actuator. It opened and closed. Nothing was physically wrong with the grill. It opened and closed. So more codes. I'm confident more codes would show. If you had to start checking resistance in wires in the wiring harness, yeah, I think more codes would show. So that's going to be wiring issues and computer pin issues when you start checking for ohms within the wiring harness. Yeah. All right. Bumper. The active cruise control. It's the left side of the car. The actuator, the wiring harness is on the right side of the car. It's the left side again. Front. Now you can see little waves, little ripples. I'm thinking it's supposed to be straight across. Maybe that was a result of the front end damage on the bumper from the tree branch. And I hope if you can see right here, this is like a cushion. This is also, you can buy this too. I think it's like $10 or $12. It's like a cushion on the top, and there's a cushion on the bottom that separates the bumper or the front end bumper inside. It separates it. It cushions it between the top part and the bottom part. We can see that. I don't know if I would have bought that if I had to replace the actual grill. I may have just tried to scrape it off the old one and rig it back on. Although it's relatively inexpensive, but sometimes you don't have to replace. You can reuse things. Yeah. Again, I don't believe there's a video as detailed as what I'm doing here on an active shutter grill. So it's pretty much regulates the temperature of the radiator. And I guess by default, the condenser also for the AC. Opens and closes during certain speeds, accelerations, temperatures, outside temperatures. This is from up top. Looking down. Yep, this is the grill right here. So you go to the bottom of the screen. That's the front of the car. The top of the screen is going toward the windshield. So this is the active shutter grill. He says wiring harnesses. Now, the first time this car had some front end damage, got back from the collision, the active grill light, the warning light came on, but not the engine light. And I thought that was a little odd. So there was something. See, with these new cars, these electronic parts, you'll get glitches every now and again. And I called the collision place and I said that it says something about a grill shutter. I had no idea what it was. Active grill shutter. And I took the $30 scanner and I cleared it. The engine light didn't come on for after this first front end damage. And when the second front end damage happened, comprehensive claim, the engine light came on. And this is $375, $275, $375, depending on where you buy it. That's from my search. That's what I found. And no, this is not. If you buy the active grill, this I guarantee you does not come with it. This little motor or actuator. And I'm not even sure that switch comes with it. This switch. I'm not even sure the switch comes with it. I wouldn't think it would. So I'm trying to look at it and see how. Now, I think you would pull it off at this point right here. So everything below, or it might come with it. Everything below this will be the wiring harness. These three wires here. And this would be the actual switch right here. That's what I'm thinking. Because the bottom part leads into the wiring harness. So this looks like this can disconnect. Right here at these 3 points. Alright. I got the video. That's all I did, and I fixed it. Alright, so whatever car you have, just try to replicate what I did here. Obviously, on other cars, they're going to look different. So, but the principles are the same. All right. You write in the comments, different problems you've had with active shutter grills or questions, and if I can answer it, I'll answer it. You see that star, right? That's in that bottom part here. This is where the actuator sticks in to the shutter grill. That's the wiring harness. Yeah, so that's the wiring harness. So I doubt that switch comes with it. And last, have here, job is made the repair. Then I took it for the test drive to confirm it. Drove it about 8 miles, parked, cleared the code. I was trying to see if the code was going to clear by itself because I wasn't sure with the, with new cars, whether they clear by themselves. and it took the active code out, but the engine light was still on. So it was only setting 2 codes now. Same codes, just different warnings of the same code: permanent, pending, and active. The active code is the code that you can see with the check engine light. All right, but the active code did disappear, but the computer wouldn't clear the light by itself. I cleared the code, continue to drive it, and everything disappeared, even the permanent code. So if you're wondering whether permanent codes disappear on their own, they do. Yeah, because when I cleared the code, bring that back up. When I cleared the code, that permanent code was still, bring it up another way. That permanent code was still there when I cleared it initially. When I drove it and plugged the scan tool back in, the permanent code disappeared. So permanent codes do disappear. They disappear on their own. And it disappeared immediately. All right. So permanent codes do disappear. And it disappeared just within 20 minutes, 15 minutes. All right. So that's the active grille shutter diagnosis, repair, and case study. All right, please subscribe if you got value out of this video, and see you in the next one.